He stood motionless in the freezing rain, lips turning blue, soaked to the bone. A lone figure holding tradition with quiet dignity. While tourists scattered for shelter, Sergeant Ewan Katarik of the Queen's Guard remained steadfast, an unmovable symbol against the storm. Amber weather warnings echoed across London, flash floods, wind gusts, and a relentless downpour. But tradition does not yield to forecasts. Katarik's grip on his ceremonial rifle remained unchanged. The cold metal numbed his fingers but not his resolve. "Look at him, still as a statue," whispered a passerby. But few could imagine the discipline behind such stillness. His mind drifted back to monsoon seasons in Southeast Asia. Back then, at least movement was allowed. Today, perfect stillness was his only task. Even as thunder cracked above and rain soaked the marble beneath his boots. Hidden beneath the palace archway, an elderly veteran watched quietly. He understood this kind of duty. It was written on his face. Katarik's military past was storied: Afghanistan, NATO deployments, South Sudan, peacekeeping. The scar on his shoulder still ached in the cold. 3 generations of Katarik men had served in the Guard, through fog, frost, and now flood. His grandfather had stood through the Great London Fog of 1952. His father endured the 1971 freeze. Ewan added rain to the legacy. With every drop that hit him, he reminded himself, discomfort passes, dignity remains. A motto passed down like a weapon. Dr. Margaret Ashbury adjusted her umbrella, watching the Guard from a distance. She saw not just tradition, but suffering. She was a historian, yes, but also a human being. And the Guard's color was fading fast. Her students urged her toward Westminster Abbey, but Dr. Ashbury lingered. Her instincts as a teacher and citizen warred within her. She marched up to a palace staff member and asked, politely but firmly, why nothing was being done. "Protocols," they answered. "Tradition." But tradition doesn't treat hypothermia, she thought. The staff insisted the Guard's health was monitored, but she could see the truth. Blue lips, trembling hands. Frustrated, she returned to her students. "Apparently, tradition trumps welfare," she muttered. A spontaneous decision struck her. She moved beyond the barrier, her umbrella high, toward the soaked soldier. Security stopped her quickly, firmly. "This is a restricted area," they reminded. But Dr. Ashbury stood her ground. "He's a person before he's a symbol," she insisted. A tense crowd had gathered. Some murmured support. Others questioned her breach of protocol. Then came the unmistakable hum of tires on wet gravel. A burgundy Bentley pulled in, bearing the royal standard. The Duchess of Cambridge emerged, calm and composed. Beside her, Princess Charlotte, in a bright yellow raincoat. Charlotte immediately noticed the Guard. "Mommy, he's standing in the rain without cover." "Yes, darling. It's part of their duty," her mother replied gently. But Charlotte saw what others missed. His trembling hands, the soaked collar, the pain behind the posture. "Didn't Queen Victoria have a rule for this?" she asked, tugging her mother's sleeve. She remembered it from history class, something about Queen Charlotte's reign provision from 1795. Even the palace aide looked surprised. "The royal weather consideration," he whispered. "It hasn't been invoked in years." "May I, Mommy?" Charlotte asked, eyes wide and solemn. "Even his eyelashes have rain on them." The Duchess exchanged glances with the aide. She nodded. Charlotte stepped forward. The umbrella bearing the royal crest held perfectly. The Guard captain walked ahead of her by 3 paces. At the prescribed distance, the captain stopped. Charlotte turned the handle, a ceremonial gesture passed down for centuries. "By authority granted through Queen Charlotte's reign provision," she declared, "your extraordinary service is acknowledged." The sergeant blinked through the rain as Princess Charlotte gently approached, her yellow raincoat bright against the gray sky. She reached up and tilted the umbrella just slightly, so it shielded his eyes from the rain. For a long moment, no one said a word. Even the palace guards stood still. A soft warmth returned to the sergeant's face. Whether from honor or from the girl's gesture, no one could tell. Dr. Ashbury wiped a tear from her cheek. History, she whispered to herself, is being rewritten by kindness. The rain didn't stop, but it no longer seemed cruel. Katarik gave a slow, imperceptible nod, a signal of gratitude within the strict code of stillness. Charlotte responded with a little bow of her own, mimicking what she had seen in state ceremonies. She turned, the umbrella still raised, and returned to her mother. The palace official stepped forward to place a second umbrella over the sergeant. The symbolism was clear. Protection had been granted. Charlotte tugged her mother's hand again. "Will he be okay now?" "Yes," the Duchess said.